there's a part of it where some of us get meeting fatigue. And I want you to look at the meetings as a exercise to your mind. Most of us don't look at it that way. We just think about our stomach that's screaming, or our mind that's thinking about the laundry that's not done, or the texts that we're getting, or whatever's going on social media. We don't look at it as an exercise in our mind. It is. It's an exercise. I look at, and then you can't compare the ability, some people have meeting stamina because they built it over the years. I look at, watch this, look at this. It's the exercise to your mind on how long you can focus too. So when you're out in the real world, when there's all sorts of distraction, if you're distracted here, imagine how distracted you are in the real world. Right? You're distracted with somebody just getting up there. Imagine when crisis happens, somebody dies, this happens, your dog got run over, whatever, big toe hurts, whatever it might be, you got distracted. Right? So if you can't focus here, imagine your deficit in that area out in the real world. So I want you to pay attention to your mind. Right? One of the things, you look at all the stuff that's going on. I want you to be aware of your thinking, be aware of that, and use this, right? The meetings, BPMs, all the type of meetings we have as a tool to enhance your focus, enhance your stamina in meetings, right? I've seen Swan Wen sit in a 16-hour meeting straight, right? And not drop a link of focus, right? I don't know if that's a term, but I just see a bunch of people they have meeting stamina, right? Do you have that right now? Or just I saw some of you yawning and this and that, and just, you know what I mean? Just do something. But I mean, I don't blame some of you that just got started. Because how many's been, I'm thinking about it. Yassine, where you at? Stand up, Yassine. I like this guy right here, man. So this guy's 15, 16 now. What are you at? 15. When I first started in the business, you were in a car seat. Okay? You were in a car seat because I visited you. That's when I was courting your Aunt Miriam. You were in a car seat, in a baby, rocking, crying, all that. He survived however long we've been doing this meeting for. He's been here, out focusing most of everybody here, right? Or at least everybody that's left already, right? And so give it up for Yassine there, man. And Yassine is competitive, man. I've seen him in the court, and man, he's competitive. So I'm excited. But you got 2 more years, though. We can't do anything until that point. But I'm glad you came here. I'm glad seeing a lot of families and sons, like your son's here. How old's your son? 16. Same thing, right? It's awesome to see, right? So when you're aware of a solution, you're no longer the problem, right? So when we're talking to people that are a janitor somewhere, or whatever the job title is, engineer or this, and they think their degree is the only job they can get is something that's correlated to the degree, and that's the only solution to their income. To them, there's no hope yet. But when you expose them to it, then there is, right? But as you're looking at our company here, when you're tired, some people out in the world are tired of being tired, frustrated of being frustrated. They're just pissed off, right? And then the other side of it is there's no solution to back it. The solution for most, you guys covered it, Uber or this or real estate or whatever it might be. There's no really option to enhance both sides, income and the time, right? Where you can have both. And I look at this from your standpoint, right? If I'm looking at it from a brand new person, the difference between you now that's aware and everybody else that's not is you literally have a vehicle that's going to allow you to get to your goals and dreams, and you have it here. And now it becomes a choice, and what most people, it's so difficult for them to see that because now they're in control. Now they're able to respond. Responsibility. You're able to respond now in your current situation, and because it's on them, it's a scary thought. It's the land of unfamiliar. And when it's all of a sudden it's my ability to respond, and I don't respond, or my kids starve, it's a painful thought to think about. I'd rather have someone else be able to respond, put me on a salary, and then kind of call it a day, right? And it's funny to see behaviors change when all of a sudden when you put a salary on someone. You can literally, I'm thinking about just different types of people. Maybe you can think about it for you at your job. Like when you had a paycheck at one point, how early were you waking up? For most of you, it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning because you got to drive traffic. And usually, if you work in LA, you probably live in Moreno Valley. or Rancho Cucamonga or Fontana, right? And you're not living in LA. And you're taking that whole traffic down, and then vice versa. If you're working in Orange County, you probably live in Riverside, right? Or Moreno Valley again, or Temecula, and you're taking that. And the pathway, as I was just looking at, where's that at? Hold on. That's my Batman voice, if you don't know. Oh, I was looking at my neighborhood. And it's funny. And it's literally, you know how Dan used to joke? Like, I'd go out in a neighborhood and figure out what those guys are doing. And, you know, and they're out in their pajamas walking their dog at 9 a.m. It's literally true. But what, you know, literally 9 a.m., 10 a.m., it doesn't really matter what time. Like, everybody's home. Like, at random times. It's not like 3 o'clock. Same guy there, right? I'll see him at 10, I'll see him at 3, I'll see him at whatever time, right? And literally they have control of that. But one thing, denominator in the whole block I live in, they're all business owners. Every one of them. I'm thinking about it. The guy on the right built a whole network marketing business in beauty. And they're home every day. He's golfing. Like yesterday, oh, you want to golf with me and my son? Boom, boom. Right? That's the conversations we're having at 10 a.m. Right? He has 5,000 people in his team. I go to the next door. This is the person to the right. The person to the left is a guy that owns like multiple businesses. And he's home every day. He wants his car washed every day, or like literally every other day the car wash guy's there. He's waxing it every time. I'm like, your Cadillac or Escalade is shiny as heck, right? You don't need another black, you know, it's black, it sits outside. So he wants it washed every other day, right? And they hired a dog trainer, because we want to hire the same dog trainer because they hired him. And we found out the price. I'm like, hell no, right? $5,000 to train my pug? Hell no. Like roast the pug. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing. We used to be able to retire at 55. Well, the baby boomers are working past 70. So they're still working. So all three generations have to work. It's not like a choice, right? When pensions are disappearing, Social Security is not going to be around, and your only source of income is the retirement savings that you put away, which most people don't. That's what takes place. So you took a look at from a consumer standpoint, is there a big need for what we do? Yes. Tremendous need, right? So we got, so just talk about eras, right? Dan was sharing this with another meeting, but you look at Magic Johnson and LeBron, the difference in two different eras. Similar type of level in the game, similar type of talent. They were like a game changer in the NBA, both wearing a Lakers uniform at this point. But you look at it, kind of similar championship. In fact, Magic Johnson had more championship. His average salary was $1 million. Compare that to LeBron at $38 million. That's a big drastic change. Even if you added inflation on Magic's salary, it's not even comparable. It's not comparable. That's what's happening in WFG. Like when I started in business, Ed Milet just hit $1 million in cash flow. That was a big deal, like back then, right? He was one of the few. Now you got like almost 300 people. It's not like back then there was like 20, right? You could tell all of them. Now you just have no idea. When you start loving you, there's a whole, like, because I used to pretend to be Ed. I used to pretend to talk like Dan, and then this guy, and then this guy. And then all of a sudden, one day I go, man, how about me? Let me talk like me, right? I like the way I talk. And then all of a sudden there's that whole transition where you emulate someone and all of a sudden it's like you now. It's your version of you. Obviously there's copies of this guy, but it's your best version of you. And I see that. The reason I'm in tears a lot of times when you're speaking here, because I'm seeing that with a lot of you. It's like your version's coming alive and it's you now. It's not that pretend guy that's talking like someone else. It's you. You're alive.